Before this podcast begins, we'd like to take a 10-second moment of silence for the late, great Dustin Diamond. Thank you.
Like, comment, and subscribe for more content.
Where's the notification bell?
It's to the right of you.
Oh.
What's up, guys? Welcome to this edition of a Funko Popcast. I'm DK Wrestler.
And I'm MD Shady.
And today we have quite a bit of Funko Pops to talk about, just for the fact that we still have days 7 to 9 of Funko Fair 2021. It's the last set of Funko Fair 2021 Pops that we will be discussing about, along with our segment, The Update. Since last week we did our top 10 list for January, and there's still obviously these January pops, so obviously we have the update to kind of update our top 10 segment. And then, of course, we have the first set of February 2021 pops, which there are only 4 Funko Pops, but still, at least we get to talk about some February pops this week. So without further ado, I guess we can kick off by talking about day 7 reveals for Funko Fair 2021, which was Animation Day. So kicking off, we have ourselves the announcement of Godzilla vs. Kong Funko Pops, which there are quite a bit of pops in this set. We got ourselves Godzilla, Battle Ready Kong, a Heat Ray Godzilla, a Scarred Kong, a Kong with a battle axe or battle weapon, whatever it's called. And then we got a couple of 10-inch Godzilla and Kong pops, along with exclusive pops of glow-in-the-dark Heat Ray Godzilla. They'll be going to FYE. And we got ourselves a Godzilla vs. Kong 2-pack. That'll be going to Books A Million. And then the last set of exclusives are called City Light variants of Kong and Godzilla, in which Kong will be purple and Godzilla will be blue, in which both of those will be going to Walmart. And those are expected to release as early as February 2021. Then we got ourselves a couple of Clifford the Big Red Dog pops, which there are 2 variants. One is a common of Clifford with Emily, and then there will be a flocked variant of Clifford the Big Red Dog by himself that'll be going to Hot Topic, and that is expected to release as early as February 2021. Then we got a wave of pops for the animation Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, which we have Mac, Blue, Eduardo, and then we have a flocked Eduardo that'll be a Hot Topic exclusive, and those are expected to release as early as March 2021. Then we got ourselves a wave of Rick and Morty pops, which we have Evil Morty, a 6-inch Balthrama, Queen Summer, Rick with Glorzo, Morty with Glorzo, and then we have exclusive pops of Rick with the funnel hat that'll be going to Target, and then Morty with a shrunken Rick that'll be going to the Funko shop, and these are expected to release as early as April 2021. Then we have a wave of pops for the animation Solar Opposites, which the pops we have here are Yumulak, Jesse, Corvo, and Terry, and these are expected to release as early as May 2021. Then we got a pop for the 60s animation Super Chicken of Super Chicken himself, in which that's expected to release as early as June 2021. Then we have a wave of pops from Line Friends, which we got ourselves Coney, Brown, Sally, Choco, and then a flocked Brown that'll be exclusive to the Funko shop. And those are expected to release as early as February 2021. So I guess realistically that's this month. And then the last pop to discuss about in the animation lineup is Dilbert, in which that is expected to release as early as March 2021. So kicking off with the Godzilla vs. Kong pops, these are some pretty fire pops in my opinion. They look really detailed. They look really nice. A lot of people were super mad that they didn't announce these on movie day, which would have made sense because these are probably going to be in the pop movies lineup. I really love the Godzilla with the heat ray. And I also didn't get to mention, because it wasn't announced until later on, confirmed on the Funko app, that the Kong with the battle axe, the little weapon that he's got, there's also going to be a flocked variant that'll be going to Walmart Walgreens, according to the Funko app. So there's that's also releasing with this set. The Kong with the battle scars looks really cool. The detail on that is really nice. And it looks like in his hand, he's got a crane. The 10-inch pops are awesome. Totally realistic to make 10-inch variants of these characters. And then the glow in the dark Heat Ray Godzilla. I'm excited to see what that turns out to be. And special news to Canadian fans is that Sunrise Records has these on pre-order on their website, since Sunrise Records does own FYE. So Sunrise Records has these on pre-order right now on their website if you're looking to get a FYE exclusive Heat Ray Glow in the Dark Godzilla. And then in typical Barnes and Noble, or not Barnes and Noble, Books a Million is slapping in 2 commons, make it a 2-pack exclusive. I mean, it's cool for the aspect that if you're only looking for 2 4-inch pops of each of the characters, then you get it with this Books a Million exclusive. But I mean, it sucks if you're trying to get the whole set. I definitely do really like the 10-inch Walmart exclusive pops. I'm kind of excited for the movie. I kind of want to see it. I have seen photos of these on IGN's Instagram stories where it's a more actual like pop form. It's not these kind of concept glam shots. And these photos here don't do justice of how great these pops actually look. These pops look great compared to what we're looking at right now, especially these 10-inch pops that we're looking at right now that were Walmart exclusive. The purple looks really nice, and the blue especially looks really nice on that Godzilla. So those are some 2 great pops right there. Then we got Clifford the Big Red Dog, which there is quite a bit of mixed reactions in terms of this. There's hype for the fans who grew up watching and reading Clifford the Big Red Dog. And then there is also those same people who realize that these look like they are like the rebooted Clifford the Big Red Dog characters, unlike the 90s version, especially with the way that Emily looks. And a little known fact, actually, it looks like Funko wants me to start calling 2-for-1 deals Pop and Buddies, because it says right on the photo there. So I guess I'm gonna have to get used to saying Pop and Buddy and not 2-for-1 deal, which I guess in a way it's a bit of a smart marketing strategy to get fans to buy both of these, because you can get one of them that is a common and it comes with Emily. Or for the people who would really want the flocked variant, they can get the flocked variant also, but it doesn't come with Emily. And of course, it makes sense for a flocked dog. So that's really cool. I like the way these look, but I know there's people that got a mixed reaction. And then we got ourselves Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. I don't really remember this show much, and I think it's exactly the reason that I mentioned on this past Monday's Cop Up or Pass Up video is the fact that I'm pretty sure when I watched a lot of shows when I was a kid, it was barely Cartoon Network, which is where these are from. I think I was mostly a YTV, Nickelodeon type person. So I would have watched like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh!, Fairly Odd Parents, all that on that channel. But I never really remembered Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. But I know there is a ton of hype because, of course, it's a Cartoon Network show. And a lot of Cartoon Network shows are getting a lot of hype, especially last year when we got Dexter and Johnny Bravo. So expect there to be obviously more Cartoon Network shows that people are going to be pumped about in the future, especially these ones. I could see a lot of people wanting to get that flocked Eduardo. I know there's people who also want other characters also. I can't exactly remember the names of them. I think one of them was Cheese, but there's a lot of people who want more than just these 4 pops for this set. Then we got Rick and Morty, which I like that they're making more Rick and Morty pops, but I'm not really a fan of the pops because they are from the most recent season. I understand for the Balthrama, the dragon, that's cool. That was a cool part of season 4, but I feel like the other pops, not a lot of people are really caring about, especially for me, who really wants a Morty Jr. Funko Pop, which was from the very first season, and they still haven't made a Morty Jr. Pop, and I don't know why. I felt like they could have made that easily when they made that first wave of Rick and Morty Funko Pops, but these ones are all right. Speaking of Rick and Morty, we have kind of the spin-off show going on with Solar Opposites. These are really weird because they basically don't look like Funko Pops, but they are Funko Pops, especially because the way that they have the eyes. Then we got Super Chicken. I don't know this at all. Like I mentioned, it was, I think, from a 60s cartoon show, but it looks pretty cool, honestly. It's not too bad. Then we got Line Friends, which why did they make these? I think Line Friends, if I'm not mistaken, is like those weird like GIF emoji type things that you can do with your phone. I don't know how many people actually requested, hey, let's get Line Friend Funko Pops. I feel like this is not something that everyone wants to get. And then I feel like that Funko Shop exclusive, although a lot of Funko Shop exclusives sell out in minutes, I don't think this one's going to sell out in minutes, honestly. I think it's going to be a little sight sitter, I'm going to call it, instead of shelf sitter on the Funko Shop for a little bit before it actually possibly sells out. And Dilbert, like I mentioned on Cop Up or Pass Up this week, I think I know who Dilbert is, but not really at the same time. Like I may have remembered bits and pieces of Dilbert. This is all right. I like the glasses. I like the whole head sculpt, and then like how the tie is kind of like in mid like flip mode there, where it's kind of flipped up like that, which it's not too bad.
So, starting with Godzilla versus Kong, these pops look pretty cool. I'm really digging these, and yeah, I definitely want to go see the movie when it comes out, whether that can be in theaters or however they may do that. I guess that's how I'd have to watch it, but it does seem like an interesting movie, and these pops look really, really great. I think I will probably end up getting that FYE exclusive just because I feel like that one's my favorite, even though I do really, really enjoy the City Glow ones. I just really like how the blue looks, even though I don't know how great the glow would be, but I really enjoy that pop. Then Clifford the Big Red Dog. These are really cool. I really enjoy this. I was a huge fan of Clifford, like most people were as a kid. And the Pop and Buddy thing, yeah, that is kind of funny how we've been calling it a 2-for-1 deal, and now they actually kind of have a name for it. I really enjoy the flocked one. I will definitely be getting the flocked one. I don't know about the Pop and Buddy one though. I think if Clifford was like a 6-inch or a 10-inch, and then you got the Buddy on the side, that would be really cool, obviously, because Clifford is the big red dog. But I think eventually we'll probably see a 10-inch version. Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. This was huge when they put out that little sneak peek of the top of Eduardo's head. I knew it was him right away just because I could totally tell. And then I looked up what he actually looks like because I had to kind of refresh my memory. And it was definitely 100% without a doubt going to be him. And I'm glad that it was. I really love the flocked one, but I also really enjoy that we get Mac and Blue. This is super cool. And I hope we do see characters down the line like Frankie, Wilt, Coco. Those are just a few. These new Rick and Morty pops, they're cool, I guess. I mean, Rick and Morty, it's kind of getting a little stale with just having so many different versions of Rick and Morty. So I don't know. I do love the show though. And then Solar Opposites. Yeah, these are super weird. I mean, I think they look good, but they're just not Funko Pops really because of the eyes. The eyes really irritate me that they're just super accurate to the show and not Funko Pop like. So basically the point I'm trying to get across is that these pops look good, but they don't really look like pops. And I think that from the beginning of the first ever wave of Rick and Morty pops, they should have just went with this type of eye. If down the line in the future, they were just going to do this eye with a different show made by obviously the same creators. Then moving on to Super Chicken. I think I know what this is because it looks super familiar, but this is oddly one of those shows that I just don't know anything about, which is weird because I'm usually pretty knowledgeable, at least a little bit, on most cartoons. But Super Chicken looks kind of cool. I like his pose. I like that hand that he has that isn't holding anything but kind of holding onto his side. I feel like that's going to look pretty good. Line friends, yeah, these are kind of weird. I mean, they're kind of cute. I know you don't like that word for Funko Pops, but I do think they are all right. I, again, don't know what these are. And there's a flocked one, and I don't know. I don't see how well these are going to sell, but I also don't know how popular whatever this is exactly. And then last but not least, Dilbert. This is pretty cool. This is something I didn't really ever see becoming a Funko Pop, but it's cool that it is. If I'm not mistaken, Dilbert is like one of those comics that you see like in your newspaper. I don't know if it's for like everybody, like most newspapers have it, but I know in our local newspaper, in like the comic kind of section, there was definitely Dilbert comics, I believe. So that's kind of cool to see.
All right, so we'll move on to day 8 of Funko Fair 2021 reveals, which was an entire day of Disney. So kicking off is a new wave of Pinocchio pops, which this set we got ourselves Figaro with Cleo, Pinocchio, Geppetto, Jiminy Cricket, a Diamond Collection Jiminy Cricket. That'll be a Books a Million exclusive. And then we got ourselves what's called Blue Fairy, which has its own 1 in 6 glitter chase. And those are expected to release as early as February 2021. Then we got ourselves 2 Artist Series Mickey and Minnie Mouse pops that will be Amazon exclusives. And those are expected to release as early as April 2021. Then we got a wave of Alice in Wonderland 70th anniversary pops, which this set we got ourselves new variants of Cheshire Cat, Mad Hatter, March Hare, an Alice with Flowers Pop Deluxe, Alice Cursying, the Queen of Hearts with King Poppin' Buddy, White Rabbit with Watch, a Tweedledee and Tweedledum 2-pack, and then we got some exclusive pops of a 10-inch Cheshire Cat that'll be Walmart exclusive, a Alice with the bottle that'll be a box lunch exclusive, the Alice with book that'll be a Target exclusive, and then we have a White Rabbit with Watch flocked pop that'll be a part of a Pop and Tea bundle, and those are expected to release as early as May 2021. Then we have a brand new wave of Lilo and Stitch pops, which we got common pops of Lilo with Pudge, Stitch and Rocket Pop Rides, Lilo with Scrump, a Smiling Seated Stitch, a Stitch with Ukulele, and we got ourselves a 10-inch seated Smiling Stitch. And then we got exclusive pops of a Sleepy Stitch that'll be a Hot Topic exclusive, a flocked variant of the 4-inch Smiling Seated Stitch that'll be a Target exclusive, Monster Stitch, which will be FYE exclusive, and then we have Stitch with Record, which also has its own 1-in-6 open mouth chase, and those are expected to release as early as June 2021. Then we have another set of Artist Series Mickey Mouse Pops, which we got ourselves Conductor Mickey, Apprentice Mickey, Steamboat Willie, Brave Little Tailor, and Firefighter Mickey, which those are all going to be Walmart exclusives and are expected to release as early as April 2021. Then we got pops for the upcoming Disney Pixar film Luca, which we got ourselves Alberto and Luca, and those are expected to release as early as June 2021. Then we got ourselves a flocked Valentine's Winnie the Pooh, in which that is available now both online and in stores at Hot Topic stores. And then last but not least, for the Disney set of announcements, we have the re-announcement of the Raya and the Last Dragon pops, except this time we have a new exclusive pop that wasn't previously announced, which is Raya with Tuk Tuk, which will be an Amazon exclusive, and it's expected to release as early as this month. So kicking off with the Pinocchio pops, which I don't remember there actually being a wave of Pinocchio pops before, honestly. I think it was just separate pops sold throughout the years. This wave is pretty cool. I know a lot of people are hyping for that Figaro with the Cleo fish. I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is the first ever time we actually have a Funko Pop of Geppetto, which is pretty cool because we've gotten a couple Pinocchios. Of course, we've had Jiminy Cricket Pops, but we've never had Geppetto, which is a huge part of Pinocchio. And then I'm kind of liking the design of that glitter chase. It's very different compared to Diamond Collection, which, speaking of Diamond Collection, I don't know why they did Diamond Collection for Jiminy Cricket, but it is what it is, I guess. This is not too bad of a set. Then we got the Artist Series Minnie and Mickey Mouse, which at the same time as I discuss these ones, I will mention about the other Artist Series Mickey Mouse pops that were announced later on in the day. These Artist Series Minnie and Mickey Mouse that were first announced, that were Amazon exclusives, these are okay. They look to be Valentine's Day Artist Series pops, but I don't know why it's going to be released in April and not released at some point this month because of Valentine's Day. I kind of find that to be odd. But then, yeah, the Walmart exclusive Artist Series pops, these are okay. I like the Firefighter Mickey the best just because of the way that the flames look and especially how nice and vibrant that red is. The Alice in Wonderland 70th anniversary pops, these are pretty cool, actually. I'm liking this variant of Cheshire Cat where it's kind of like sitting on its tail and it also looks like it will act as its own stand, which is really nice. I'm loving the Pop Deluxe. I think this is also the first time we have any pops of Tweedledee and Tweedledum, which is cool that we're getting a 2-pack of that. And then the exclusive pops are okay. The 10-inch Cheshire Cat is, I guess, pretty cool. And then that Pop and Tea bundle is really nice also because it's got a flocked white rabbit. And then the t-shirt looks really nice too. I'm curious to know what the box looks like for this Pop and Tea bundle when it releases. Then we got Lilo and Stitch, which there is a bunch of mixed hype. Of course, Disney already has a bunch of hype when it comes to Funko Pops, and people like Lilo and Stitch, but there's also some bad hype because the majority of the set is Stitch. And then you got a couple Lilos. I actually watched a Lilo and Stitch recently again, just to kind of refresh my memory with the scenes that these pops were involved with. I do like the scene with Stitch in the rocket. I think that was pretty cool. And I think a lot of people are a little hyped for that chase for the Funko Shop exclusive. And I remember that scene too. That was a pretty funny scene where Stitch puts his finger on the record player and then the noise actually plays when he opens his mouth, which I found to be pretty funny, honestly. Then we got Luca, which I remember hearing about this during the Disney Investors Day announcements. These pops look all right now. They're in that like concept form, so I don't exactly know how these will turn out, but I'm kind of curious to see how this movie is, especially because it's a Pixar movie. Then we got the Winnie the Pooh. This is okay. And then we got Raya and the Last Dragon. This pop's all right. You got two characters in one, technically, with Raya and then Tuk Tuk, which we did talk about Tuk Tuk. I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. Tuk Tuk, actually, the separate pop, actually marks number 1,000 in the Pop Disney lineup.
So a new wave of Pinocchio pops, and yeah, I believe you're correct. I don't think we've had an actual like wave of Pinocchio pops. So this is really cool. All of these look really good, but it's definitely not my favorite Pinocchio itself. But Geppetto is really awesome. Then the artist series, Mickey and Minnie. I haven't really ever been a fan of artist series because there hasn't really been many that like are super eye-catching to me. These ones don't do it either. I don't really like these at all. And then I guess skipping over to the other, like the 50-year anniversary or 90-year anniversary artist series ones, I don't like those either. I don't think they're really necessary. Then Alice in Wonderland. This is a pretty damn big wave, and I enjoy it for the most part. I mean, a lot of these look really good. I'm not a huge fan of characters who already have pops getting more pops that kind of seem unnecessary, like the Mad Hatter and the Alice. I mean, the Cheshire Cat, I like the pose, so I'll give that one a pass. And then Tweedledee and Tweedledum, I think they did have pops before, like early Disney pops, but I could be wrong. Yeah, that shirt for the Pop and Tea bundle, that looks really cool. I really enjoy that one. I might consider picking that up just for the t-shirt alone because I don't really collect very many Disney pops. Lilo and Stitch, yeah, it's cool. I like the one where he's riding the rocket. But besides that, yeah, it's kind of just all Stitches. And I would really like to see some other characters from Lilo and Stitch because there's so many cool character designs and a lot of cool characters that I think would kind of be deserving of a Funko Pop. Luca, these are weird. Like these are kind of weird. I don't know if it's because they have different noses and they have like mouths or what it is, and they look like very kind of tall Funko Pops. There's just something odd going on about these, but overall they look all right, and I'll definitely have to check out this movie. Then the Valentine's Day Winnie the Pooh. This is cool. I enjoy this. I like that it's flocked. It's cool that it's Hot Topic. Kind of thinking I'd potentially pick this up. And then Raya or Raya, however it's pronounced, with Tuk Tuk. This is great. I really enjoy this because, like we said on the last podcast, if you haven't checked it out, I believe you actually mentioned it. Who knows what the size of that Tuk Tuk pop is going to be, considering he's a small character, obviously, as we see now with this sort of kind of pop and buddy pop here. So I think, honestly, getting this one is the way to go, unless you're like just a huge fan of Tuk Tuk and you really want to have a solo pop of him.
All right, so now we're talking the final day of Funko Fair 2021, or it's also the last set of January 2021 Funko Pops, which this Funko Fair 2021 day was specifically targeted towards music and DC. We got ourselves a Superman pop comic covers, which is actually the first ever pop comic covers that Funko has made, in which this is expected to release as early as May 2021. Then we got ourselves a wave of the Flash Funko Pops, which we got ourselves two variants of the Flash, which one is a common, and then another version is a glow in the dark Funko Shop exclusive, along with Killer Frost Bloodwork, and then two variants of Godspeed, one being a common and the other being a glow in the dark exclusive going to EB Games/GameStop. And those are expected to release as early as March 2021. Then we got a wave of Wonder Woman 80th anniversary pops, which we got Wonder Woman Golden Age, Wonder Woman the Content, Wonder Woman Secret Agent, Challenge of the Gods Wonder Woman. And then we got ourselves a previews exclusive Death Metal Wonder Woman, which also has its own 1 in 6 glow in the dark chase, in which those are expected to release as early as May 2021. Then kicking off the Rocks lineup, we got ourselves two variants of Britney Spears, one from her song Toxic and the other being from Oops, I Did It Again, in which those are expected to release as early as April 2021. Then we got ourselves a Motorhead Ace of Spades pop album, which that's expected to release as early as April 2021. And speaking of pop albums, we got ourselves AC/DC's Highway to Hell as a pop album, which that's expected to release as early as June 2021. Continuing on, we got ourselves Aaliyah, which that's expected to release as early as April 2021. Then we got Bret Michaels, which has its own 1 in 6 chase, in which that's also expected to release as early as April 2021. We got ourselves Kid and Play, which those are expected to release as early as May 2021. We have two variants of Devo, one being Whip It and one being Satisfaction, in which those are expected to release as early as June 2021. And then the last set of pops is 3 pops for Fall Out Boy. We got ourselves Pete Wentz and Patrick Stump with a Hot Topic exclusive variant of Pete Wentz, which those are expected to release as early as June 2021. So, kicking off with the pop comic covers of Superman, this is such a great idea. Already, I can say that this pop comic covers alone is way better than the entire day 4 Marvel reveals for Funko Fair by far. This is really cool. Obviously, with the popularity of pop albums for the Rocks lineup, this is something super refreshing for not only the DC lineup, but they can expand this with the Marvel lineup too, which I know a lot of people were requesting for future pop comic covers. They want, I think it's called Detective Comics 27, which is the first appearance Batman. And then there is another one I can't remember the name of, but it's Spider-Man's first appearance. And I know off the recording session, MD had actually mentioned that they kind of botched the first pop comic covers, which I'm kind of curious on why that is for his reasoning. But overall, I think this is a great idea. I'm excited to see some future pop comic covers. Then we got ourselves the Flash, which this is surprisingly a very good lineup of pops. The exclusive is pretty cool for the Flash, especially because you get something a little extra. Not only is it glow in the dark, but it's got an added base to it, essentially, with that, which is really, really cool. I know a lot of people are hyping for that Flash pop. The Bloodwork pop, which is in the middle bottom row, looks super detailed. And then that Godspeed exclusive, I'm kind of liking when they have a glow in the dark pop that glows a different color than what it shows. Like, this is exactly what happened with Devil Ned Flanders pop for the Trios of Horror, where obviously it's a yellow pop, but then it had glown green when it glows in the dark. So that's what they're showing with this Godspeed pop, which these are some cool pops. These Wonder Woman 80th anniversary pops, these are okay. I'm liking the Challenge of the Gods version, which is in the middle bottom row right there. I think that looks really nice. I kind of find the chase to be a little lazy for the previews exclusive. I felt like you should have either just made it glow in the dark overall or just like not even make a chase and just make that common one by itself. Overall, the other ones are okay. They're not the greatest in my opinion, but I mean, that Challenge of the Gods one looks pretty cool actually. Then we got ourselves Britney Spears pops. I'm kind of okay with this, but I'm kind of not, just because I'm not really the biggest fan of Britney Spears, but I actually know the 2 songs that these pops are targeting towards. Could there be more Britney Spears pops after this? Possibly, but like these would be the last decently good Britney Spears pops that Funko could possibly make. They already did Hit Me Baby One More Time with the Pop and Tea bundle, which if only they had saved that for a pop album, possibly. But speaking of pop albums, now that I mention them, Ace of Spades, Motorhead. This is really cool. I never thought when thinking of future pop albums, which actually there is a video we did on our channel, little suggestion thinking above, that I didn't think that Funko was able to do pop albums that have covers that involve more than one person. Because now that opens up a huge variety of pop albums that they can do. Like, easy one I could think of off the top of my head is doing Guns N' Roses Appetite for Destruction and just adding a skeleton head to Slash. I think that would be great. But this also opens up an opportunity. And Funko, if you are listening to this, you probably will steal this idea. This would be an opportunity to start doing Funko Pop album chases, where you have the other band members that are featured on this album cover as a chase figure if you wanted to get the other band members featured on that album cover if it's more than one person. And Highway to Hell, I know there was a bit more hype actually for Highway to Hell than Ace of Spades, although both albums are super iconic in music. I'm surprised of how they pulled this off because I thought they were going to pull what they did with Back in Black and do a black and white version of the chase, but they did have what's on this album cover, which is Angus Young with the devil tail. And then once again, this could be a opportunity where they do pop album chases. Aaliyah, there is quite a bit of hype, but personally, I have no idea who Aaliyah is at all. But this Aaliyah pop, pretty detailed with the bandana look and kind of like the street clothes. And I'm sure this will sell very well. I don't know if it's going to like sell out, but I don't think it's going to be a shelf sitter either. Then we got Brett Michaels. Should they have made a chase? Maybe, because I feel like people would rather want the chase more than the common, in my opinion, because Brett Michaels is known with having that cowboy hat on. But all it is for the chase and common difference is just adding that hat, because underneath that hat is the bandana that he's wearing. He's got the same guitar. There's no switching of the shirt colors or anything. It's just the hat that's added. That's all that is. Kid and Play. These are all right. I don't really know Kid and Play all that much, but that's also because I think it's in the genre that I don't listen to. I think, if I'm not mistaken, they're more hip hop, rap kind of dealio there. I could be wrong, but I know for a fact I did not listen to Kid and Play growing up. And then Devo. Who has ever requested Devo Pops? I want to know who has requested Devo Pops. In the years that I've looked up comments on Instagram and Facebook, especially for the Pop Rocks Pops, of people wanting certain bands and musicians, not one time have I ever seen someone be like, yeah, let's get a Devo Pop. Like, cool, you got, Whip It, which is their like one hit wonder song of Whip It. Whip real good, and then becomes relevant again when they call it Swift It for the Swiffer commercials. But why? And then we got Fall Out Boy, which obviously I know of Fall Out Boy. Listened to a couple of their songs. I can't remember the names of the songs, but I know I've listened to Fall Out Boy before. I kind of like the Hot Topic exclusive better than the common, probably because that's more of an older look.
All right, so the time is nigh. I'm sure DK has been wondering for a few days and also kind of making predictions on why I think that the first pop comic was kind of a botch. It's actually just to do with the pose of the pop itself. I think with how Funko is going nowadays compared to, let's say, however many years ago, they could have easily had this be the exact pose that he is in the comic and have the car above his head. I'm not saying the car has to be to scale with the Superman figure, because obviously with Pops, not even the head is to scale with the body. So just having him holding up that car over his head would have been so cool. And obviously, this is more of like a premium piece and a little bit more than just buying, like, let's say, the pop in a regular pop box. But I also do think that this is very, very cool, and it opens a floodgate of different opportunities. Like you said, you can have DC stuff like we see here, you can have Marvel stuff. But kind of the first thing I thought is seeing some obscure comics like Muppet Babies and Fraggle Rock and Casper and Richie Rich and just a whole plethora of different things you could do. I really, really think this is a stretch, but I would love to see a Pop Comics Psycho Circus from Kiss. I think that would be so awesome. Funko, please, please do it. There's so many different covers that you could do for that because it's like a 30 book series, I believe. But yeah, I love the idea of these comics and I can't wait to see what we get. Then moving on to The Flash. Yeah, this is a damn solid lineup. I really enjoy all of these figures, and that green glow, I think that's going to be cool. But overall, this lineup is pretty damn good. Then more Wonder Woman pops. Yeah, okay. I don't know what to say. I haven't seen any of the Wonder Woman movies. I don't know. It's just kind of weird to me. But there definitely is a lot of different variants, I guess you could say. So it's overall all right, I suppose. Then Britney Spears. Yeah, kind of like you said, like we could probably see some more Britney Spears down the line. I really love these ones because I haven't really enjoyed the other Britney Spears pops. I do have the one common one, whatever one it is, but I like these ones better, even though they're a little less detailed, but they're more familiar and iconic, in my opinion, at least. Maybe one day we could see a 2007 bald meltdown Britney Spears chase. That would be really, really awesome. I doubt that would happen though, because that'd be so disrespectful to her.
Could you imagine Brian Mariotti being on the phone with Britney Spears and like, hey, we got an idea for another pop. We're going to make you bald.
Yeah. You realize that Brian Mariotti is not Vince McMahon, right?
Well, that's how I describe every CEO from every company nowadays. They will always have a Vince McMahon impression.
No, I get that, but I'm saying like Vince McMahon's just a cruel son of a bitch. Brian Mariotti, I think, is a little more lenient. But moving on to these new pop albums. Ace of Spades, this is pretty sweet. I love the Motorhead pops to begin with. All of those. I think there's like 3 or 4 different Motorhead pops. Those ones are already cool. And now we have this, which is pretty awesome as well. And then Highway to Hell, kind of disappointing. I love the idea of it, but like I said, this is a premium piece. Even if you make it more expensive, give us all 4 pops in the box. I like your idea of the chase thing, but that's a lot of space. Whereas if they just make this box a little bit bigger and just give us all 4 pops, that'd be so awesome. I was kind of cheesed when you said Guns N' Roses and not Destroyer by Kiss, which would be a huge deluxe albums pop where they're on a bass and they're in their poses. Oh, that'd be so great. But this is overall all right. But I feel like we've already seen a lot of AC/DC stuff. So I don't know. This is what, the second pop album that AC/DC's had already. And
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I think that it would have been cool if we seen a different band and maybe this down the line. I feel like this is just kind of a little too new. Like this is number 9 in the set and they've already have 2 pop albums. And then Aliyah, I don't really know who this is. The pop looks all right, but yeah, like you said, I think it might be a shelf sitter unless it's like a Funko Shop exclusive, but it doesn't say that here, so I don't think that's the case. And then Bret Michaels. I really like this. I like Poison. Every Rose Has Its Thorn. Great song. Bret Michaels is cool too. Yeah, this chase is kind of lazy. I think the common should have been the chase, I guess, like you said. But at the same time, I do feel like there should have been some kind of variant version where you see him without the hat on, because I do think both of these are good. But yeah, if they could have just changed something about it, the attire, even just like a different paint on the attire for the non-hatted version, that would have been wicked. But overall, this is good. I will definitely be trying to get that chase. Then we have Kid and Play. These are cool too. Kind of simplistic in the outfits, but I mean, that's just how Kid and Play are. But the hair on both of them looks really, really good. And those poses are just super cool. And then Devo. Yeah, no one definitely requested Devo. I couldn't see many people really wanting these, but it's kind of that thing where you have that surprise element where you're kind of like, oh, damn, like Devo pops. This is weird, but it's also kind of cool. I kind of dig it. Probably won't get them though. And then some Fall Out Boy pops. These are awesome. I actually recently kind of just became a fan of Fall Out Boy. I know, like, through middle school and then through high school, a lot of people really liked Fall Out Boy. And I just wasn't a huge fan, but I kind of do listen to them quite a bit at work now. I do dig them, and I will probably be picking up all 3 of these pops because overall, I think they're pretty good.
All right, so now we're going to move on to our segment, The Update, where we update our top 10 list from last week. Since now we are officially over and done with January 2021, let's see what pops get added to our top 10 list now. What's your updated list, MD?
For changed pops, coming in at number 10 now, I have the Superman pop comics. Like I said, I do have some gripes with this pop because I don't think the pose on the figure is what it could be. I think it could look way better, but it's the idea of this actually happening that kind of made it on the list, because I definitely want to see some really, really cool comic covers in pop form. Then at number 9, I have the Bret Michaels Chase. I don't think it's a great chase, and that's why it didn't make it higher on the list, but I do think it is the better pop, so that's why it beat out the common. Then coming in at number 7, I have the flocked Clifford the dog, big red dog, I guess I should say. I just wish we seen the show version of Emily and not the one that we have with that common. Then that might have won, but I also really do love flock pops, and this makes sense to be flocked. Can't wait to see a 10-inch that is also flocked. And then where is the last one? Coming all the way down at number 3, I have the hot topic, I believe, flocked Eduardo from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends. That pop is amazing. So happy about that. And that is my update.
All right, so my updated list, starting at number 9, is the Highway to Hell pop albums. There's quite a bit of hype for this, but at the same time, with my personal reaction, like you mentioned, we've already gotten AC/DC pop albums. I think something else would have been a little better. Number 8 is the Funko Shop exclusive 1 in 6 Chase Stitch with record player. Had a little bit of a personal reaction, not too much, but there is a bunch of hype because, of course, Disney pops always get a nice, good amount of hype. But also at the same time, people were complaining about so many Stitch pops. But I think this was the most talked about Stitch pop out of the ones that were revealed at Funko Fair. Then coming in now at number 7, we got ourselves what's called City Lights 10-inch Godzilla, Walmart exclusive. Really cool in detail, especially looking at the pop more in person through the IGN stories on Instagram rather than looking at that like kind of concept glam shot that Funko had showed us at Funko Fair. And then my last pop, it's taking the number 4 spot. So the top 3 was not affected. So number 4 now is the Superman pop comic covers. Such a huge surprise element. I think I heard before maybe that there was going to be comic covers, but like I couldn't imagine what it looked like really. But how it turned out, it was really nice. But at the same time, I'm not really the biggest fan of Superman. It's a new idea, a nice, refreshing idea, which is why it's essentially in the top 5 portion now of my top 10 list. All right, so let's move on to the February 2021 Funko Pop announcements, which there are only 4 Funko Pops to discuss about so far since we are recording this on February 2nd, Groundhog Day. First are 3 pops that were officially confirmed on the Funko app. The 3 pops featured in the recent Marvel Collectors Corp subscription box, which the theme was Marvel Lucha Libre edition. We got ourselves a metallic, essentially I'm going to go by the superhero name that they're based off of, not trying to pronounce how they turn out because we all know how last week's episode was with me pronouncing names. We got ourselves the Spider-Man Lucha Libre, the Venom Lucha Libre, and then a different colored variant of the Wolverine Lucha Libre pop, which currently unavailable on Amazon's website, which is usually where the subscription box is, but should be back up within the next month or 2. And then announced today as we are recording this, we got ourselves technically a re-announcement of that Wonder Woman pop that was from Funko Fair. But then we got ourselves a newly announced Death Metal Batman pop, which will be a previews exclusive. So kicking off with the Marvel Lucha Libre pops, disappointed with this. Not because, overall, a lot of people are not hyped because of the Marvel Lucha Libre edition pops. I just don't like it because basically all of these pops are just characters that have already been made, except either a different specification or a color change. Like, cool, I do respect that the metallic kind of actually brings out the wrestling gear because that's kind of how wrestling gear is for some attires, where it's kind of got that like glossy, shiny finish to it. But I will respect also that the Spider-Man and the Venom ones were my favorite from the original wave. So I guess in that aspect, I like them because those were my favorites, unlike the other ones. But I hate the idea that they just did a color change on the Wolverine one. I remember hearing there was going to be 3 pops, but I thought it was just going to be 3 new Marvel characters. But then we got this Death Metal Batman, which looks so badass. He's playing a guitar. There's like a flame or like some sort of bolt of lightning coming out of this pick. Does he have the pick of destiny? Who knows? And he's just rocking. It looks really, really good. I'm really impressed with this pop, considering that we have so many Batman pops.
So to kind of make this short and simple, I hate the whatever it's called Lucha Libre edition Marvel figures, and I don't like any of these ones either. Instead of seeing stuff like this, why can't we see stuff that we want? For instance, maybe a 2-pack of the Human Spider and Bonesaw. That would just be the craziest thing ever, and I would pop for that and I would buy that. And then that Batman is sick. This is definitely one of my favorite DC pops that have come out in a while, besides the Joker Jack Frost. I thought that looked really, really cool. But this is sweet. Yeah, it does look cool. And yeah, it kind of does look like he kind of has some type of pick of destiny. Speaking of that, where are the Tenacious D pick of destiny pops? So many great characters you could use there again. And I'm sure Jack Black would love to see it. So why not just do it, Funko?
All right, guys. So that's going to be the end of this week's podcast. If you enjoyed this podcast, make sure you smash that like button. Comment in the comment section below on essentially what your thoughts are from the last few days of Funko Fair, and let us know what your thoughts are on the first set of February 2021 Funko Pops. Press that subscribe button for more content like this podcast and any other videos we do in the future, and press the little bell beside it to be notified of when that future content gets released. And if you guys haven't yet, follow us on all of our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at the Funko Podcast. It'll be listed in the description below. But anyways, guys, thank you for listening to this week's podcast, and we hope to see you guys next week on a Funko Podcast. 1, 2, 3, I'm out of here.
Peace in, peace out.